Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we're looking at the McFarlane Halo 4 Series 3 Palmer figure. People have wanted a Palmer figure for a really long time, and now we finally kind of have one. And I say kind of because it is just the Scout that's been repainted to look like Palmer. It's not the actual sculpt of Palmer. It doesn't look like a girl, it looks like a guy. So that's a little disappointing, but at least it is technically a Palmer figure based on the name and the official release information. So that's good enough, I guess, to add her to the collection. She stands, as you would expect, just like all of the other Spartans, about 13.5 centimeters and about 5¼ inches. She does have, obviously, the unique paint scheme, which does look pretty good. A lot of times with the white or light colored figures, you end up with like a dirty look rather than a battle damaged look. This one, while it's not perfect, it looks pretty darn good, and basically all of the panel lining is lined, so that helps the figure stand out. And then we have a lot of these green accents, these really dark green, and then all of the red accents that she's supposed to have too. So it looks really nice. I'm happy to have it. Each of her weapons comes with a weapons peg, and as you can see, there are thigh peg holes in there. There is a peg hole in the back, just like all the other Spartans. And she comes with the dual pistols, which is a good thing, I guess. They don't really have any paint detail on them. They're just kind of a metallic silver. And she doesn't have trigger finger hands, so you have to really pry the hand open and then get the gun in there. And as you can see, that trigger is starting to flex and break. And then this one broke as soon as I tried to put the hand in there, even though I pried the fingers open. So either expect to not hold the weapons or expect your triggers to break. So that's interesting, I guess. We still don't get trigger fingers. That would be a big benefit to have trigger fingers, but whatever. As far as articulation goes, the head is on a double ball peg, so you can get pretty good range of motion. Really no trouble at all posing this figure. Shoulders go out that far because the armor gets in the way. They don't go down very far either, but you can probably put them in a combat pose with very little issue. Shouldn't be able to pose her, or shouldn't be able to, wow, you shouldn't have too much trouble being able to pose this figure. So we have the ratcheted shoulder, no swivel in the bicep here. We get the swivel down here in the forearm. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, I don't remember the Scout having that hinge in there. I remember it being built like this, which is slightly different. So I'm gonna have to pull out the Scout and compare. Okay, so I got the Scout out and I was wrong. It is built like that, so it is exactly the same mold as before. So Palmer is now a guy, but most people didn't like her anyway, so I guess that's okay. So we have our bicep swivel in here, and we have our ratcheting hinge right there, and we should also get a forearm swivel out of that end, so that's pretty nice. We have a ball hinge at the wrist also, so we have the hinge, and then it'll swivel at the forearm and at the hand, so you can pretty much put the hand however you want to and pose these figures really well. I still say, and I said it in the Jewel video and I'll say it in this one, these Halo figures are some of the best figures you can buy for under $20, hands down. Posability, paint, sculpt, everything. Cannot beat it for under 20 bucks. It's a really, really good value. For the torso articulation, double ball peg, really good rotation, decent ab crunch, goes pretty far back, decent forward. And then it does lean side to side also, so that'll help you pose the figure more naturally. The hips are still super limited because they're old 1980s, 1990s Ninja Turtle style hips. Single ball peg going down. Maybe it's a double, but there's not enough range of motion for me to prove that without pulling it off. So you really just get this swivel, which isn't very good. That's the only real major downside for these figures. What happened there? Oh, that's kind of a bummer. Anyway, we have the ratcheted hinge in the knee, so it will rotate at the thigh, and we have the hinge there. And then for the ankles, we have the full-on ball hinge, ratcheted ball hinge, so it'll swivel at the ankle and at the foot and ratchet. And we have a ball peg for the front toe to help us pose the figure a little bit, but if you rotate the ankle around, you can give yourself a perfect ankle rocker. Everything you need to pose this figure really well other than the hips. So this is a little disappointing, but you still can't beat it with the paint job, sculpt, articulation, price tag. A really, really good figure. I recommend it 100%. So check out Big Bad Toy Store. There's a link in the description. Get yourself some Halo figures if you haven't already, and if you already have, then you know how awesome these are, and you should probably buy some more. So there it is, guys. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can see my upcoming figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.